The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Robbie Ross for the Ross Report on 912 Sports. Another Thursday here in the 912 and up to date on the GHSA. Some big news on Monday. The GHSA Executive Committee voted 75-0 to approve classification change designed to cut down from 7 to 6 for competition travel purposes and to appease lawmakers who had gotten involved during the General Assembly back in the first 3 months of this year. Travel concerns was the number one issue on the GHSA's docket to limit from 7 classes to 6. The classification change won't take effect until 2024-2025 academic year because earlier this year, the GHSA reclassified for 2022, 2023, and 2023, 2024 back in January. And starting from scratch now with just a few months left before mainly football season begins would be pretty much impractical. So for the next 2 academic years, GHSA still will stay with 7 classes, 7A through 1A. Class A will still be split into now a Division I or the larger Class A schools, and Division II for smaller Class A schools instead of public and private. So that's a little bit of a change for the next 2 academic year cycles. With 8 regions, the switch to a larger, smaller Class A split from public-private was approved back in January. Coming up in 2024, the largest classification will be 6A, and there will be 56 regions instead of 64. So that will compact them a little bit to help with travel concerns. Fewer regions typically result in more schools per region and closer proximity between the schools, which is expected to reduce travel costs and time out of class. As recently as 1998-1999, the GHSA only had 4 classifications with 32 regions. The total swelled to 56 in 2016 and up to 64 when they went to 8 classes and split public and private single A and all the way up to 7A back in 2020. Basically, because the GHSA has so many member schools now, up to 450. Other news out of the GHSA on Monday: exempt out-of-zone students from counting against the multiplier if they entered the school's feeder system in 5th grade or sooner. So if a student lives outside of a zone but entered before the 5th grade, they are not counted in that multiplier as pretty much a transfer, basically. Also, allow public and charter schools to choose their feeder zone for purposes of defining an out-of-zone student. Not really a big deal here in the 912. Not too many, if any, charter schools that I'm aware of that this poses a problem. Provide a 3rd state championship division in lacrosse. All girls wrestling will increase its number of weight classes from 14 to 10, or to 14 from 10, and playing dates from up to 20 from just 6. So girls wrestling really coming along in the state of Georgia, and also making hard courts mandatory for all tennis matches unless both teams agree to another court surface, either be it clay or grass. I don't think we have any grass. This isn't Wimbledon. So hard court only for tennis purposes. But the main thing is, starting in 2024, we will go from 7 classes to 6 classes and more or less regions, so larger regions, but less of them. That will help the travel amongst our local teams here in the 912, specifically because the South Georgia teams always seem to have the disadvantage when it comes to scheduling and everything, because there flat out are less schools in the 912 in South Georgia below Macon than there are north of Macon, and so it's easier for those Atlanta schools and the metro area to travel, because they don't have so many schools in that area, where it is tougher for the 912 and also South Georgia to schedule teams and play close proximity to home in region and non-region play. So look forward to that and see how it shakes down and see where our teams fall into play in that. I'm Robbie Ross. This has been the Ross Report for 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, Sean. Always good to be here with you talking high school sports, and we're into April, almost mid-April. The Masters is done, and we're getting into the postseason, at least in soccer. So, we're headed down the home stretch here.
Yeah, it's hard to believe a lot of these sports, are still a couple weeks away, but soccer is underway this week, Kevin. And even though some of the games that we're going to talk about have already been played, we do want to recognize the schools in 912 that have made the playoffs, and then kind of give you a little, who's maybe looking to make some noise in the playoffs, and maybe who got a tough draw, because we've got some people that have got a tough draw there in the playoffs. And we'll start with the boys, Kevin. We'll just start down there in single A. We've got Atco. Atco is ranked number 6 in the state. Now, these rankings today that we're going to talk about, Kevin, are coming from the AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So anytime we talk about a ranked team, that's where we got our numbers from. But Atco's got to play Hawkinsville. But Atco's a team, Kevin. They're a number 1 seed going into this thing. They're looking to make some noise, and I think Atco could make a run there in single A for sure.
Go ahead.
I said, moving on up to 2A, we've got Toombs. Toombs is the number 1 seed. They got to take on Glen Hills. Bacon's a 3 seed. They're taking on Oglethorpe. And Vidalia is a 4 seed, and they got to take on Putnam. Got to go on the road. We talked about the tough draws. Vidalia is a winner in the tough draw bracket there, Kevin, as they got to play Putnam, who's ranked number 7 in the state. So pretty rough way to start out your playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And look for that ACO team. We'll see how far they can go. From what I understand, they are pretty good. And like you said, tough draw there for
Vidalia.
Yeah, I was drawing a blank on them. But, yeah, we'll see if they can pull the upset on the road.
Exactly. Tattnall County, the Battle Creek Warriors, man, are playing really good soccer. Kevin sitting there ranked number 4 in the state. They're another team in 3A that really could make some noise. They're taking on Grove. Long County, a team that's always good in soccer, sitting there as a 2 seed. They got to play Savannah Arts. Pierce County, 3 seed, got to go on the road. The good thing about it is, Kevin, they don't have to go far. They're playing Windsor Forest, so just to ride up the road there to Savannah. And then Appleton sitting there playing Southeast Bullock on the road. Again, not too far for Appleton to ride over to Statesboro there to take on Southeast Bullock.
Yeah, a couple of ranked teams there, so maybe they can, wave the flag for the 912 in that classification.
Right. And our only school in 4A, New Hampstead, they go in as a 4 seed. Got to play Thomas County Central. That's kind of a haul to go over there to Thomasville from the Savannah area. So going to be a long road trip there for the Phoenix. But Ware County goes into the playoffs as a 2 seed in boys. They host Jonesboro. Wayne County is a 3 seed. They're going to be taking on Forest Park, and then Coffey's the 4 seed out of that region. They'll be taking on Woodward Academy. Woodward Academy always has a good soccer program, so going to be interested to see who out of that region can keep playing. Moving on up to 6A, Kevin, this is a region that you're very familiar with. Glen Academy sitting there ranked number 10 in the state. In the AJC poll, they're number 1 in some of the polls that we look at. I don't believe they've lost a contest yet. They're sitting there as a 1 seed. They're going to host Lovejoy in the first round. Statesboro is the number 2 seed. They're going to be taking on Tucker. South Effingham is going to be going up to North Atlanta to play North Atlanta. And then Brunswick's the 4 seed. And another tough draw, Kevin. They just get to go play Lakeside of DeKalb, who, oh, by the way, is ranked number 4 in the state there in 6A.
Yeah, tough draw for Brunswick, and their best player got hurt earlier in the season, and they've had trouble, scoring without him. But they did make the playoffs again, so that's a big accomplishment for a program that's on the rise here in the last couple of years. Tough matchup there in the first round. We'll see if they can hold their own at least. But looking forward to seeing what this Glen team can do. Of course, Bobby Brotman got his 400th career win there with the Red Terriers earlier this year. They've rolled right along since then. You're right. They're undefeated. Really sound on defense again. Pretty good team in the midfield, and got a couple of guys up front that can put the ball in the back of the net. Things can fall their way. They're certainly at home in the first couple of rounds at least. Maybe this Glen team can make a deep run as well.
Yeah, Glenn got 2 scores, Kevin, and got 50 goals between the 2 of them. So that's pretty impressive. So look for this Glen team to make some noise with Bobby there at the helm. And then moving on up to 7A, Camden's the 3 seed. They got to go on the road to face Walton, another ranked team in the state, sitting there at number 8. So going to be another tough draw there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, tough road trip up to Atlanta for the Wildcats, and again, a ranked team there out of Cobb County. Pretty good soccer area right there. So going to be a tough matchup for Camden there in the opening round.
Okay, Kevin, flipping over to the girls, we'll just start with 7A and go down. But you got the Camden County Wildcats going to go into the playoffs as a 2 seed, going to be hosting Hillgrove there. So the Wildcat girls get to have a home game. We'll move right on down into 6A. Richmond Hill, Kevin, kind of surprised there, winning that region, going in as a 1 seed. They're going to be playing Westlake. Then you've got Glen Academy as a 2 seed, going to be playing Tucker. South Effingham is a 3 seed, going to be playing Lakeside DeKalb, and then Effingham is the 4 seed, playing North Atlanta. But Kevin, that was a shocker. We kind of thought Glen might win that region, but lo and behold, Richmond Hill wins some kind of tiebreaker there and puts herself as a 1 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, both Glen and Richmond Hill split during the season. I think both have been ranked at some point. I know Glen has, and pretty good solid Glen team again. That Richmond Hill team is pretty solid. And I think South Effingham's not bad, and then it might drop off a little bit from there. So Region 2, 6A could be well represented in the opening round. I would expect some wins out of that bunch.
Yeah, looking forward to following along with that. But we'll slide down into 5A. Coffee goes in as a 2 seed. They'll be taking on Creekside. The Ware County Gators go in as a 3 seed, so they'll have to travel up to Forest Park. So there's an Atlanta trip for them. And Wayne County with a tough draw, Kevin, going to be playing Woodward Academy, another ranked team there in the state, sitting there at number 10.
Yeah, tough draw there. Woodward, like you said, always good in boys and girls soccer.
Right. And going into 4A, this was something that we were kind of baffled by, but you've got New Hampstead, who's a 2 seed. They're going to get to host, but oh, by the way, you get to play the 10th best team in the state, taking on Cairo there with them coming in as the 10th best team there in girls soccer there in 4A. So a tough draw there to get a home game, but have to play a quality opponent like Cairo.
Yeah, and that just means that region was really tough. If Cairo's third and finished 10th, a couple of good teams ahead of them. So we'll see, but that's a tough matchup for sure.
Exactly. We'll drop down into 3A. Pierce County is going to go into the playoffs as a 1 seed, going to host Windsor Forest. Appleton County is going to host Liberty in a game, Kevin, that we've got 2 9-1-2 teams playing one another. Appleton is a 2 seed from Region 1. Liberty, the 3 seed from Region 3, so they'll be facing off against one another. Long will go in as a 3 seed, take on Southeast Bullock, and then the Brantley County Herons. By the way, they just get to play the 10th best team in the state, taking on Savannah Arts. So that region right there has got some really good soccer. So it would not surprise me if 2 or 3 teams make the second round out of that bunch.
Yeah, and I like seeing those 9-1-2 matchups. I mean, it means somebody's going to lose, unfortunately, and we're going to lose a team from our area, but we also know somebody's going to win. So that should be a nice little get together there in the first round.
Right. And then moving down to 2A, we've got Jeff Davis, who is the 4th ranked team in the state. Jeff Davis having a really, really good season over there in Hazelhurst. They'll be taking on Johnston of Augusta. Bacon goes in as a 3 seed. They'll be taking on Putnam. And then Toombs County goes in as a 4 seed. They got to go on the road to Oglethorpe County. So kind of, it's a long road trip there from Toombs up to Oglethorpe. So we'll see what happens there. And then 2 teams in single A, Kevin. We've got Atco, number 1 seed, ranked number 8 in the state. Very good team there in Atco in single A. They'll be taking on Montgomery County. And then McIntosh County Academy, they're a 3 seed. They're also their number 9 ranked team in the state. At this point in time, we do not know who their opponent is. I think there's still some things to be determined on who they will actually play when we take this. So, like I said, we don't know who MCA will play, but again, they're ranked number 9, so they're looking pretty strong going into the playoffs.
Yeah, that McIntosh team is still growing, still putting together a program, and good to see them in the playoffs and ranked as well. So that's got to be an exciting time for them on the soccer pitch there in Darien.
Yeah, so look forward to getting these soccer games underway. We'll give you an update next week on who made it into the second round. But like I said, congratulations. I believe it was 17 boys teams, Kevin, making it into the playoffs. And let's cook right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 girls teams made it in. So pretty impressive there for soccer for the 9-1-2 to put that many teams into the state playoffs. So we'll follow along, keep everybody posted on how they do. And, of course, all the other, region tournaments will be coming up. As far as, other sports, track and field, golf, baseball, all that stuff as far as the state playoffs just around the corner here. And we'll be keeping everybody abreast of what's going on there as well. But, hey, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back here with some more On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome back, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. Kevin, we're right in the middle of not only Gator baseball, but Golden Owls baseball with all our broadcasts. We're wrapping things up. I think there's 2 weeks left in the regular season. The Ware County Gators have a big series this week with the Wayne County Yellow Jackets. We'll get into that next week. But this past week, they really only had 2 non-region games. They played the Charlton County Indians. Charlton's a very tough single-A team. Won a couple of state championships here in the last 10 years. I think they're ranked like 2nd in the state right now. But the Gators went down there on Monday, this past Monday, or I guess Monday a week ago, and went down there and handled their business, come away with a big 10-2 win against the Indians, and then came back on Tuesday for the follow-up game. Was able to get senior night in and was able to play 1.5 innings, but that's when the skies opened up. And Mother Nature, Kevin, is still undefeated, and she won. She won Tuesday night. And I know why Coach Ammons did it. The Ware County Gators this was their 3rd attempt at getting senior night in, and the first 2 had been rained out. As a matter of fact, we had some parents who flew in from different parts of the country to be here to be a part of this thing, and that didn't happen on those 2 dates. And I think Coach Ammons was just bound and determined. If we didn't play baseball or not, we were going to get senior night in, and that was actually what the Gators were able to do. But like I said, got a huge series going on with Wayne County Yellow Jackets this week. So we'll see how that shakes out. Right now, you still got Wayne in striking distance. You still got Ware in striking distance, and Coffee kind of sitting up there on the throne right now. Coffee, according to the latest poll that I saw, ranked number 3 in the state there in 5A. So some really good baseball being played by all 3 of those teams. So the next couple of weeks are going to be very interesting for the Gators, because this week they play Wayne, next week they play Coffee. So a lot of baseball to be played, but a lot of questions are going to be answered before in 2 weeks of baseball.
Yeah, and we knew, those teams that you mentioned, Coffee, Ware and Wayne would be, the teams to probably win the region, and that's the way it's going to look. And one of them probably will win, and the other ones will finish 2nd and 3rd. And big series, with Wayne County, and then of course to finish up the season. But anything can happen, and so a big 2 weeks of baseball there in that region to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah. But like I said, we'll have every game on 912sports.net. So tune in and check us out. Like I said, big series with Wayne, this week, and then a big series with Coffee next week. But Kevin, you got a lot going on over there with Golden Owls baseball on 912sports.net as well.
Yeah, we're going to have our game, 3rd game of the week, actually tomorrow night, Glenn Academy hosting Bradwell Institute. So it will wrap up a big week, and then we have a big final week coming up where we sort of have the flex schedule in place. And I guess we'll be kind of looking at that tomorrow night and over the weekend to see exactly who we are going to cover and win in that last week. And we set it up like that, Sean, on purpose. And it looks like we kind of did that right, because going into this week, there was just really no telling, how these teams were going to shake out, finish in this region. And I talked about it on our broadcast last Friday night, Glenn at Effingham. Glenn won that series, winning the first 2, but lost a tough 3rd game, 7-6. And who really knows how that might shape up in the final standings. Effingham kind of held serve, at least on top of the region, by winning that ball game, and gave themselves a 2-game separation over at least Glenn Academy in the loss column. But when you look at this region, Sean, going into the week, Effingham sitting there with 3 losses. Statesboro and South Effingham both with 4. Glenn and Richmond Hill both with 5. And there's just no telling how it's going to shake out in these last 2 weeks, because Richmond Hill and Statesboro are playing this week. Next week, Richmond Hill and South Effingham finish the season just like they did last year. Glenn playing Bradwell, of course, this week, but then jumps right back into the frying pan next week with Statesboro, just as they did last year. And then Brunswick hosts Effingham, and Effingham was going to be playing South Effingham this week. So all kinds of different results could come out of this. And who knows, it could be Brunswick High possibly helping Glenn Academy improve their seeding in the playoffs next week if they can take 1 or more against Effingham. We'll know more about how things are going to shake out after tomorrow night in terms of going in to the last week. But really, 4 teams up there, Sean, could finish in any order, 1, 2, 3, 4. And like we said, winning the series is important because that gives you the head-to-head tiebreaker, at least if me and you are tied man-to-man. So, that's going to be big. And then, last year was South Effingham and Richmond Hill playing the last week, and South Effingham ended up winning the region championship, but Richmond Hill had a chance. Also, Glenn had a chance win the region championship last year, but ended up settling for second, but had to win the last game of the season at Statesboro last year to lock up that 2 seed. So for Glenn, anywhere from 1 to 4 at the moment. And for Brunswick, I mean, mathematically, Sean, they're still in. They've got 10 losses. This is their off week. I guess, Richmond Hill or Glenn going into the week could lose their final 6, but that's not bound to happen. So Brunswick's going to fall short, and Bradwell's going to be eliminated. But that's really all we know.
Yeah, and Kevin, it's really funny. I was looking at the Georgia Dugout Club rankings, and they had 1 through 10 there, but none of these teams were mentioned in those top 10. But then the others receiving votes was Richmond Hill, South Effingham, Glenn. I mean, all right there in a row, and it's just like it's almost like an SEC type situation. These teams are all so good; they beat up on each other so much, it kind of keeps them out of that top 10 ranking because everybody's record looks rough because you're having to play this great competition. But where it's going to help that region, Kevin, is come playoff time. I got news for you: if you draw a 3 or 4 seed out of that region, you're going to be in trouble. I don't care how good you are as a 1 or 2; you're going to have your hands full when the 3 or 4 seed from that region comes calling on you come playoff time.
Yeah, and at some point in the season, I know Glenn and South Effingham have been ranked for a good bit of it. Right. And Richmond Hill was ranked there for a while, actually in the top 10. I can't remember if Effingham ever made it into the top 10 or not,
yeah,
but
I don't either.
They're in that receiving votes category. But, Sean, I'll just say this. I don't know that any of these teams, at least Glenn, South Effingham, both of those teams made it to the Elite Eight, and Richmond Hill. I don't know if any of them are as good or playing quite as good as they were last year, but they all are pretty solid baseball teams. They have a weakness here or there that could be their Achilles heel that I think might trip them up in a tough matchup. But you're right, a 3 or 4 seed out of this region in the opening round won't be easy. The 1 and 2s, I think, should be in decent shape going into the first round. And then after that, it's going to be all in how the brackets fall and the matchups fall. But I'm not sure any of these teams are really as good as they were last year, but all decent, solid baseball teams.
Exactly. And the same thing with that region that Ware's in. Either Coffee, Wayne, or Ware are going to be a 3 seed, and that is not a draw as a 2 seed that you won't come into your place in the first round of the playoffs as one of those teams because they're definitely, definitely capable of beating you. So we'll see how all that shakes out. But Kevin, we'll move right along, and we want to remind everybody, mark your calendars for April the 28th. That's Thursday, a couple weeks from now, as we have our all sports award show coming up. It's going to be on 7 o'clock on Thursday night on the 28th, where we're going to be recognizing, I think it's 39 deserving student athletes from around the area, from all of our 912 schools in every sport with the exception of football. And it's not that we don't love football, Kevin. It's just that they get their own party, so we don't include them in this party. But
that's how much we love football.
Exactly. So they get their own little exclusive party. But this is our all sports award show. So really looking forward to it. So everybody mark your calendars. Kevin, we're right now putting the final touches on everything, getting those last 1 or 2, winners, slotted into place. And like I said, it's a lot of work, but it's something that we do because we feel like these student athletes deserve to be recognized.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and I think we talked about it again last week. I mean, what comes to my mind in these award shows is just how talented some of the kids are. But when you look at some of the things they do off the field academically, but then some of the other organizations and whatnot they're involved in, most of these kids that are our superlative award winners, as I like to call them, are well-versed, well-rounded, yes sir, no sir type kids as well. So it's easy to understand why they have the success they do on the field. But we're always reminded of the good teams and the good programs that we have here in the 912 and just how big a deal high school sports is, around the area. And so we like to contribute and kind of give back, if you will. And not everybody can win an award, but we have some tough decisions to make sometimes too. So just because somebody maybe finishes second and third or in a race, it could be like finishing second or third in one of these regions. You're still pretty good. We just only have one piece of hardware that we could give out. But again, I think we'll see a lot of good kids represented and a lot of good teams and programs represented, and should be a fun festive night, there at the end of April, as we won't be totally done with the high school sports season, but we'll be all but done except for some of the postseason tournaments and whatnot that still may be going on, and some of our teams that may still be alive in that. But anytime that spring award show comes along, Sean, we're getting down to the end, down to the nitty gritty. And of course, you mentioned that most of the awards have already been decided because it's starting in the fall with everything but football, but we still have a few hanging in the balance. We're kind of looking to hold off until the very end, or at least until we have to make a decision. So some close calls, still kind of coming down the stretch here in a couple of sports for our players of the year and whatnot.
Exactly. But looking forward to to April the 28th, 7 o'clock. Mark your calendars, come be a part of it, and let's help honor these student athletes as they are well deserving, on their performances for all year. But Kevin, last week's show, you and I talked a lot about Trace Carter. Trace Carter went up to the Masters and won the drive, chip, and putt competition. Came in second place for his age group, won the chipping portion of that contest. And Kevin, you were able to interview Trace. Great interview by Trace. A lot of great questions and answers, and that's going to come up right here after these messages. But appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports, and we'll be right back here with Trace Carter and Kevin Price's interview.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Kevin Price. Getting set to join us now is Trace Carter, a golfer at Ware County. He had a big week last week as he competed in the drive, chip, and putt national finals at none other than Augusta National, where he finished second overall in his age division, the 14-15 age group, and also won the chipping part of that competition. So we're going to bring Trace in not only to talk about that competition, but also just the thrill of being at Augusta National, of course, one of the most famous places in all of golf, where they just wrapped up the Masters on Sunday. But Trace, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Well, good to see you. And of course, looks like you're wearing a Titleist hat, so I guess you hit Titleist golf balls. Let me guess, the Pro V, is that what you hit?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Well, Trace, obviously you had the thrill of a lifetime, something you're probably always going to remember, not only just being at Augusta, but certainly playing well when you were there. But there's so many questions I could ask you just about being there and the Augusta experience, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about that competition itself. I mean, first of all, it's drive, chip, and putt. And, of course, that's all three phases of the game that you compete in. And, of course, each champion in each little segment of that competition gets a piece of hardware, which you did, but then also your performance in all three areas goes to your overall performance. But just talk about how you prepared for this event. I mean, did you hit a lot of drives, a lot of chips, a lot of putts, day in and day out, getting ready for this big competition?
I mainly just practice how I normally do. I didn't really change much. I mean, I practice my putting and chipping like more than really driving, because that's just how I practice every day. I didn't really change much, though.
Okay, so you just kind of stayed with your normal routine. But what is your normal routine? I guess you hit golf balls every day?
Yeah, sir. Just from morning to dark, just practicing. I don't really have like 2 hours here, 2 hours there. I just kind of go with it. But I do like drills and stuff. I'm putting and chipping. And yes, sir.
Now, talk about getting ready for this event. I don't know how much warm-up time you actually had on the grounds at Augusta. I'm sure they let you guys warm up and practice all three phases of the game. But, I mean, the ground's probably potentially harder there, so your drives could go either roll out forward or roll out sideways and hurt you. The chips could certainly be faster, roll out on the greens. The putts could possibly be faster. I mean, did you get much time to prepare and kind of get used to the conditions actually there at Augusta?
Not really. They only gave us like 15 minutes probably, but it's definitely, it was cold and it was in the morning, so the drives they didn't really go that far, and they didn't roll much. And then chipping and putting is just definitely faster and more roll out than what I'm used to, but I play a lot faster than what I'm used to all the time, so I was all right.
So you adjusted pretty well, it sounds like. Well, I think a lot of people maybe don't understand the nature of this competition too. I mean, you only get like a couple of drives, a couple of chips, and a couple of putts. So you kind of got to answer the bell, so to speak. You don't have time to ease into a round like you would maybe over an 18-hole round. I mean, how hard is it to be ready to go right from Jump Street?
You definitely got to be ready. There's no time to hit a bad shot because it's not like you can make it up. Yeah, you definitely got to be ready. It's like in a round, you can like start off bad, make a few bogeys, but you have time to recover. But you get 6 shots, so not really much you can do if you do something bad.
And of course, I don't know how you felt emotionally. I mean, this was a national competition, so maybe the nerves are jumping around a little bit. And not only are you playing against other good golfers, you're doing it at Augusta National. And I probably would have fallen apart in that situation. But how did you handle that environment that day? Obviously pretty good, I guess.
Yes, sir. I'm pretty used to it because I play in a lot of big tournaments. But I was definitely a little nervous at the beginning. But it just felt like I was just out there having fun playing.
Cool. We'll talk about, I guess, the chipping part of your game is maybe the best part of your game. So I guess it's no coincidence that you won the chipping portion of the competition. But just talk about your short game. Is that really the strength of your game, chipping and putting?
Yes, sir. It definitely is. That's what I'm known for and what I probably practice the most to make up for the other parts.
Now, obviously, you did real good in the chipping. I'm sure maybe you would like to do the driving and the putting all over again. But at the end of the day, what you did was good enough for second. I mean, how big of a thrill was it to get some hardware for second place?
It was really cool. The trophies were really cool, and the whole ceremony about it. And Dustin Johnson was there. It was really, really cool.
Now, are the trophies crystal?
Really? No, sir. I think they're just silver.
Okay. Well, where is that trophy, or where are those two trophies in your house at the moment?
They're in my room with all my other ones.
Have you slept with them yet?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, obviously, you mentioned Dustin Johnson. I saw pictures on the website where he gave you the trophy for winning the chipping part of it, and also finishing second. How cool was it to meet Dustin Johnson? Is he maybe one of your favorite players by chance?
Yes, sir. He's he's one of my favorite players. It was really cool. Like, it didn't feel really real in the moment, but everything about it was awesome.
What did he say to you? Do you remember, or you were just kind of in awe? I mean, what did he say to you as you gave you the trophy and took a picture with you?
He was mainly just like, great job, and just congratulating me about it.
Cool. Well, I know from looking at pictures, I know several other pros were out there. I think Gentle Ben Crenshaw was out there. Bubba Watson always makes an appearance out there. Of course, he's a former University of Georgia golfer and a Masters champion himself. But did you have a chance to rub elbows, shake hands with any other pro guys that possibly are past champions like Crenshaw or former champions playing in the field like Bubba Watson?
Yes, sir. Shake hands with Bubba and talk to him for a little bit. And Tom Watson.
Tom Watson, cool, okay.
He was there, and
he seems like
yes, sir.
Tom Watson, cool, okay. He seems like
yes, sir. they're really cool guys to talk to.
Now, what about some of the other competitors? Did y'all just kind of, once the competition was over, did y'all just kind of have fun, hang out with each other? I mean, how much time did you get to mingle with the other kids there?
Oh, yes, sir. We all kind of were in a group for a little bit, and we talked about it. And, yeah, they were cool, the competitors in it.
Awesome. Now, I do have on my Masters shirt that I got up there on Wednesday. It's got the crow's nest on the back. Of course, that's where a lot of the amateurs get to play. But so from that standpoint, I'm sure you went in that souvenir shop. I don't see you wearing any Masters gear right now.
Oh, I do have this.
Okay, he does. Okay, there you go. What all did you come home with? I don't know what all they gave y'all free, but what else between freebies and things you had to buy? What else did you come home with?
Me and my mom went into the gift shop and we bought. I think I got 3 like golf shirts and this pullover and a hoodie and just some stuff for like souvenirs and stuff.
So I guess you're going to be wearing those to school over the next few days, or certainly out at the golf course.
Yeah, I've worn each of my shirts every day so far.
Okay. I don't blame you. They cost enough. You better wear them.
Yes, sir.
Hey, now also at Augusta National, it's known for food and cheap food in the concession stands. The pimento cheese, the egg salad, all those are like $1.50. You get lemonade for $1.50. You get Georgia pecan little clusters and different things that for less than $2. What did you eat out of the concession stand if you ate out of the concession stands?
I ate a pimento and cheese sandwich, barbecue sandwich, and some chips.
Awesome. Yeah, the Masters chips are Masters chips. They're not Lay's, Frito Lay's. They're Masters chips. And also, that's Masters barbecue. Now, a friend of mine that I went up there with on Wednesday, he ate 3 of those, and they're $3 a piece. But that is some good Masters barbecue. Now, what did they feed y'all anything? Because a lot of the pros and the caddies talk about how good a lot of the food is, either in the locker room or in the caddy barn. Did they feed y'all any good food for free?
Yes, sir. After we finished the competition and all, we ate where they have the champions dinner. Actually,
awesome.
Yes, sir. It was
awesome.
Really cool.
Oh man, that's a thrill and a half. Did y'all get to go up in the crow's nest by any chance?
Did we? No, sir, we didn't.
Well, what about just being at Augusta? Did y'all get to see a practice round on Monday, I would assume?
Yes, sir. They gave us tickets. Me and my mom, dad, and my 2 sisters, we went.
Well, talk about just walking that course and how pretty it is. I mean, TV doesn't do it justice from the Philly standpoint. I mean, they show all of the azaleas and everything. But just talk about seeing that golf course and what kind of came to your mind as you walked around the place.
Oh, yeah. The thing that caught my eye was, like, how hilly it was. And you can't really see it on TV, but, like, each hole, like, it's just up and down. And I couldn't imagine having to walk 18 holes there, especially be a caddy in those big old bags for 4 days.
And that kind of brings it in perspective what Tiger Woods had to do this week, too, right? I mean, not only did he have the pressure of every shot with his physical elements right now, that really was a tough course to walk.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Now, how much did this give you any kind of momentum or any kind of, hey, I want to be there one day? I mean, I know you don't want to put any pressure on yourself, nor do we, but does this give you a little extra juice, a little extra adrenaline to want to go out and practice, want to go out and play? Did you kind of get a good vibe just by being there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just to see how hard, like, the pros work, even after they prepared to be there, and they still work hard, like, because we went to the practice round. And just, me and my sister walked around, and we watched them practice and chip, and it's just crazy how good they are. So I just know I got to keep getting better to be there one day.
And, we kind of talked about it last week when we talked about you finishing second, and we were hoping to get you on, but a lot of people just want to go to Augusta, and, I've been fortunate to go, and a lot of my friends have been fortunate to go, and we all like golf, but we all talk about even if somebody really doesn't like golf all that much, they ought to go and check it out. But Can you just talk about just being there and what that meant to you to be there as a golfer?
Yeah, just to get to hit the few shots in a competition at Augusta, it was just an honor, and I just took every moment of it, all 6 shots of it. But and the putt,
like you hit 6 more shots than a lot of us are going to hit. That's for sure.
Sir. And we got to putt on the 18th green. Like, it doesn't get much better.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
tell me about that. I mean, tell me about that. Did they let you go out there and put a ball on the front of the green and punt to the hole?
Well, the putting portion was on the 18th green.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. So yeah, and the 15-foot putt was the Sunday pin location.
Wow! I guess you saw the two guys, McElroy and Morikawa, chip in or hit in from the stand on Sunday in the final round. They both made birdie. But talk about how undulating that green is. Then, I mean, you got the real feel. I didn't realize that it was not in the practice area; it was on the 18th green.
Yes, sir. It's very fast, and the 15-foot putt was straight downhill, so it was like putting on glass. And it's crazy how like small that green is for like such a tough hole. Like, it doesn't look like it on TV. But it's really small and really fast.
Now, where was the driving part held?
It was on the driving range.
Okay, that's what I thought. Do you think you could keep it between the pine trees going up 18?
I think so.
Okay. Talk about what's next for you. I mean, I guess you go back into high school golf and then probably have a big summer plan. I mean, just kind of talk about what's coming down the road for you.
Oh, yes, sir. We're only halfway through high school season, so we still have like area and state and stuff. But I also just gonna try playing some AJGAs, Future Masters, U.S. Team Worlds, just some big events during the summer.
And is there any? I mean, obviously your game's pretty solid, or you wouldn't have probably made it to this competition. But I mean, where's your game right now? Do you feel like you're playing pretty good overall?
Yes, sir. My game feels pretty good right now. I just definitely need to keep practicing, but yeah, just like always, need to keep practicing. No matter how good you are, but yeah, it feels pretty good right now.
Well, awesome. Well, we're going to let you get back to class, get to school, go back out on that practice range and on the golf course, and we'll be keeping up with you the rest of spring and throughout the summer as well.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, Trace. Congratulations and good luck going forward.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So that was Trace Carter. Big competition for him at the drive, chip, and putt at Augusta National. And what a thrill that was just for him to be there. But not only was he there, he put his name and Waycross in the tournament record books there at Augusta National. Pretty good stuff right there. We'll be back with more here on Air with 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.